All right, so this video we're checking out the new EMAX Nanohawk X. So this is EMAX's entry into the 1S 3-inch toothpick class. They use the same hardware, most of the same hardware. Obviously, the big differences here with the 3-inch setup here, but the electronics are from the original Nanohawk. I think it's a 65 millimeter, so it's sort of like a tiny whoop 1S class. Same canopy, same camera, the Runcam Nano 3, same electronics. The 1S flight controller board with 5 amp ESCs and 25 200 milliwatt video transmitter. So they put it onto a new frame, 3-inch frame here with these are 1202.5 11,000 kV motors. So the frame is a unibody frame, as you can see here. Pretty strong, should be fairly durable in most crashes. You're not going to be going super fast with this anyway. Although the battery is forward and backwards, I would have preferred to have seen sideways battery mount, but that's okay. This does come with an XT30 for your battery connector now. So that's a big upgrade from the GNB27, which is on the original the Nanohawk. Obviously, it's so that the bigger props are drawing more current, and that's why they went to the bigger battery. So instead of a 300, you now have a 450, and it's a 451S. But this is the same one we've seen in a lot of the other products, but they now have put a XT30 on there to match the quad. You only get one in the box. Would have liked to have seen more. I don't know if they're going to have different versions with more batteries, but maybe a 3 or 4 battery version at an extra cost would not be a bad idea, because sometimes it can be a hassle to acquire more batteries for some beginners. Now, in terms of the rest of the stuff that's in the box here, you do get a battery charger, typical USB here with the PH2 connector, which is I think this is an old product here that they're obviously repurposing, so they're giving you some adapters. So you get these PH2 to XT30 adapters, so you can use this charger. So later on, if you get a regular charger, you don't need these. You could use these battery connectors for something else later. They also give you this adapter here, which is the opposite. It's an XT30 to PH2 on the other side. So if you have batteries that use the PH2 connector, you can plug this in here and then plug that other battery into here and still be able to fly your old batteries, although it will be with a slight performance penalty because of the connector. This smaller connector just does not have as much of a current output as the bigger XT30 connector, so keep that in mind. But if you're just cruising around, not really doing a lot of aggressive flying, then this is going to be fine for that. Of course, you get your typical little screwdriver and spare screws and a little spare parts here in case you lose any off of the quad. And this is their new prop. They call it the Avio 3-inch Nano X prop. It looks pretty similar to a lot of 3-inch props out there. T-mounted style here. Typical this red EMAX polycarbonate that you see on all the other props. I think it's the same material. I'm pretty sure it feels like it's the same and the same sort of characteristics compared to some of the other props out there. But that's what it looks like. And you only get the 4 that are coming with the quad and then 2 spares. And then of course you get your stickers and you get this important information card for online resources like your manuals. If you have questions, if you need customer support, you can go to this website here and also their resources here. They have QR codes here in the back as well. So yeah, I often get questions about things that are in the manual or just basic general support questions, and I always tell people there's a card in the box. You can go there and get help. Yeah, so usually these guys will respond faster than me anyway. Okay, so overall, there's nothing really that surprising about this model compared to some of the other 1S toothpicks out there that I've flown. It's the flight performance is pretty typical. I do like the fact that they went to the XT30, which is what I think people are going to want anyway. Battery is kind of a subjective thing. I think 450 is the right size for this. You can go to a 600 and get more flight time. You can also just, get your own batteries as well. If you add more weight to this, because it's got limited power, you're just going to trade performance, basically agility, for additional flight times. So if you're more like want to do more longer flights and cruising, that kind of stuff, or you just want to practice flying, then just go ahead and put a bigger battery in there. It's not going to really give you that much of a penalty in terms of performance, but you just won't be able to do the most aggressive type of flying with the heavier battery compared to a lighter battery. All right, so let's just get this out of the way, see how much this thing weighs. So it's about 43.4 grams, and then with the 1S LiPo, we're coming in at about 56 grams all up weight. So anyway, I don't really have too much more to add about this particular product. EMAX in general makes pretty decent products. Decent quality. They've done a decent amount of testing. They've got a good PID tune on here, as usual. They definitely do their homework on their new products. They don't really come out with as many products as some of the other companies, and not nearly as the quantity or the speed. So they usually are later to the game, but their products generally do well over time and hold up better. So for those of you that have concerns about that compared to some of the other companies out there, I would say that those concerns are probably, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think that you'll be pretty happy with this one. If you like the original Nanohawk, the tiny whip version, but was looking for more performance out of it, this is definitely one you want to consider to move up to. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Here's some flight footage for you, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. So this is almost completely silent. You can barely hear it over the street noise off to my right. You can probably hear the cars and trucks and stuff more than the propellers. Let me come right next to me here. This is a garbage truck over there. You guys are looking for something that's not too noisy. This is it. It's really windy right now. It's kind of gusting. Tune on this, as usual, very good from EMAX. Just don't have a lot of power on 1S, especially in this wind. Alright, need to adjust the rates. I think they're just Betaflight defaults. So this is just a 1S 450. Not sure how much flight time I'm going to get here. Already down to about 3.6. Pretty sure their low voltage warning is going to be set on this one like they do on all the other models. Yeah, you can probably hear the wind at this point. It's pretty gusty. It's actually flying better than expected in this kind of wind. Yeah, if you want to fly this in more controlled conditions, I would recommend a less windy day. Oh, and the crash. So there's no damage. The battery got slightly ejected. It was a little bit, I guess, slid out because there's, while the rubber band is grippy, there's no grip pad on the quad itself. And yeah, I just didn't pull out, or I didn't put enough throttle in on that dive, and the amount of throttle that I gave wasn't enough power at this level of the battery to pull out of something like that, which is why I hit the ground. And we get a low voltage warning there. As soon as I give it a punch out there, I get a low voltage warning and the battery sags. Let's do one more punch out here. 3.4. Oh, below 3 volts. I'll land now. Okay. Yeah, so that was pretty much the end of the battery there when I tried to do that little dive and failed. And yeah, now we gotta land. Now our battery's totally dead.